Well. So look what we have here. So, guys, welcome to the stream. Men are giving up on society, and that's terrible for all of us. It's not a good thing. It's a pretty bad thing what we're witnessing right now. So many guys are walking away from society, walking away from relationships, choosing to say, you know what, relationships are no longer worth it for me. I'm going to go ahead, focus on myself, find my peace, and I'm good with that. And that's not good for any of us. Watch to the end of the video to fully understand the implications of why so many men are walking away and why that is terrible for society. Don't forget to follow us over on Rumble. Our Rumble is linked in the description of the video. And also, don't let them tell you that you will own nothing and be happy. Go and check out Angry's Crypto Academy to learn how to buy, sell, and trade crypto while making massive profit. Our academy is linked in the description of the video. Like the video, turn on notifications, share the video to every brother who needs to hear it. And now let's go ahead and jump right in. We have a video from the Circle of Kings. We're going to jump into that video in just a moment. I was going to tell you guys, something really funny? I have not done one of these live streams in a minute. I have not done a live stream in a minute. And I was like, yeah, I don't even remember what to say. And it just came right back to me. It's muscle memory it's no joke. It is honestly no joke. Like it just came out smooth. Like at the beginning, I was like, it's just like, what the heck? Angry? You have that in you? Yeah, there you go. It's been a minute. It's been a hot minute since I've streamed for you guys. How long has it actually been? We'll find. You know what? We'll find out right now. Let's see. Let's check out YouTube Studio. So according to YouTube Studio, I have not streamed for you guys since September 10th. The last time I streamed for you guys was back during the entire event related to Charlie Kirk. I have not streamed since then. So it has literally been over 3 months. Is that right? Over 3 months since I've streamed for you guys. It's unbelievable. So many of you guys know you've been watching. I've been like dropping lots and lots of content recently. And you're like, well, why is Angry dropping so much content? Well, I've been dropping a lot of long form videos. I realized that there's a major need for long form content on YouTube, like in the manosphere, because there's not that many channels that are actually dropping really, like, real long form content where it's an hour long. And I know that's really hard for a lot of people to do. I'm actually working around the clock to produce this content for you. Like, the way it works for me is I go to sleep and then I wake up and I start working on content, and I try to always be ahead, like at least by a day or two. Like I try to be at least 2 days ahead. Of course, it's hard to maintain that. Right now, I'm about 3 days ahead of my content, so I have content already. And you guys, I don't have to like, make it up. I don't have to like, hide it from you. Channel members get access to all of the videos early. So if you're a channel member, you already know what's up. All of the content that's there right now is already scheduled, and you can. So I have 3 days worth of content already scheduled to go. So that's a total of 50. Well, six. It's 15 videos, technically 16 because I have one up for Saturday already. And channel members can watch all of the videos early. So I already have my 15 videos, 16 videos for the next 15 videos for the next couple of days. I try to give you guys around 5 videos a day. Although sometimes it does end up working out to be more than that, but I try not to do less than five. But sometimes there's like breaking news stuff happening. For example, like so like for example, something related to men, like a new law, a new paternity law is coming, has arrived where men could basically be forced to pay child support from before the baby is born. That was like a breaking news story. I think that came out. I don't know if it was this week. I think it was last week. And I had to basically make a video about that immediately. People like, sometimes you guys, you'll hit me up on like X and it's like, hey, Angry, breaking news. And I'm like, I don't, okay. And I'm like, and I'm in tears. Like I'm sending back tear emojis, and you guys don't give a shit. But it's life. It's life. So when things like that happen, I have to kind of just jump on top of it, and you'll end up getting an extra video or an extra 2 videos if it's like breaking news stuff or time sensitive stuff. So But yeah, I try to aim for about 5 videos a day, but that's about 5 hours of videos minimum. So I'm working from like the moment I wake up, I'm working until almost the moment I sleep. And I tell myself I'm gonna play my, I have a Legion Go S. I finally got the Legion Go S. It's the Z1 edition. It's amazing. When I got it, I played the fuck out of it. But now it's like since I've just been grinding and putting out so much content, I don't really have time. And it's like I told myself I'm gonna play some Legion Go West this evening. And what do I end up doing? I end up streaming for you guys. This is the and I'm streaming over on Rumble as well, but I made a mistake, so I'm streaming to the wrong Rumble channel. There's the main one and there's like a second one, and like I made a mistake. I didn't pay attention. So people on Rumble are probably pissed off because like they're not getting the stream, but they are and they're not. Oh well, fuck it. Anyway, YouTube peeps, you get the idea. So it's just been it's been exhausting. It's been very, very exhausting. But what I've realized is, for example, there's this entire niche right now. It's not really a niche. It's a very large segment. So YouTube in many ways is trying to be the new Netflix. People come to YouTube and they want to watch longer videos. They don't want to have to go from video to video to video to video. They want to be able to, like, people who watch television, people who are watching on television, even some people watching on tablets and so forth, they want to watch an entire long video. There's also the podcast people. There are people who listen to my videos and they're not watching the video, they're just listening. So they could be working security very late. They could be working as physicians. I don't know why the doctors are chilling here. And they'll listen to my podcast when they should be focusing on their patients. And they're not actually watching the screen, but they're listening to the audio. So that, and it's basically like, for them it's like talk radio. For people who are like, just watching on television, you're watching the gameplay. So I've actually worked a lot on the gameplay, where I try every video now, I try to have like a brand, like something different for you guys, something engaging. I have a massive backlog of games. I have over 100. I have how many games do I have? Holy cow. So let me double check, because like I have my Steam collection and then I have my GOG collection. So on Steam, how many games does Angry actually have? On Steam, I have over 1,500 games. Evidently, okay. Evidently, I have somewhere in that range of like, in that rate. Okay, I have 1,470 games on Steam. So because there's also some like that I added in there that are not official Steam games, but yeah. I've got 1,470 games on Steam, so that means that I've got like over 30 games that are non-Steam games. So like indies. I know. You guys are like, Angry, are you for real? Angry is for real. I really have a lot of stuff. But you get the gist of it though. You get the gist of it. And because I have such a large backlog, I can jump into my backlog and say, okay, which game would I like to feature? So like so I'm like going through my backlog, and like at least it's good for something. I can say, okay, oh yeah, Alone in the Dark is pretty lit. I'll show you guys some footage from Alone in the Dark, playing Alone in the Dark or whatever. So I've been doing that, but people want long form videos. People want to be able to sit down and watch these videos. And I realize, here's the thing: like a lot of times, like Crunchyroll is my television. It is 100% my television, and there's sometimes it's just hard to like find anything on Crunchyroll because you have to kind of spend time. Because I like isekais and fantasy, but it can take time to find something. And then like these series are much shorter, so if these series are only 12 episodes or even 25, like it runs out pretty quickly. And Netflix is lame. There's all like, it's just riddled with DEI garbage. So it's like I don't even want to watch Netflix. I always cancel my Netflix. The only reason why I have Netflix again is because of Stranger Things, because of and I know you're like, that thing is riddled with DEI, but yeah, I mean, I was invested for so long. It's been like a 10-year journey, bro. Like the series first aired back in 20 the series first aired back in 2016, back when Obama was still president. So it's been a hard minute. So I've been with it for so long. So I kind of want to see how it wraps up now. Even though I mean, Will just like, I'm not gonna spoil it for you guys who haven't seen it. But evidently, by Will accepting, embracing who he is, it gave him power. So it's like if you believe in yourself and you embrace who you've always known that you are, you too can get superpowers. I know that's a massive spoiler for those of you that have not seen it yet, but I don't give a shit. All right. And I don't like spoiling things. I don't like spoiling for people. But yeah, if you believe in the heart of the cards and your affection for your friend Mike, then you too can get amazing superpowers and all of these other prizes. Yeah. So I've been following. What I realized is with YouTube, people want to watch this longer content. YouTube is basically positioning itself to be very much to be more like Netflix. In fact, people will spend way more time watching YouTube videos than Netflix. So I'm basically filling that gap where people want to watch long form content, where people want to watch content that's 1 hour long, and they don't have to keep on jumping from one video to another video to another video. So it's good, but it's also exhausting because between like the time producing the audio and produce and then and getting the videos together for you, got the gameplay footage ready for you guys, and then editing the videos, and then also like all of that stuff takes time, and I have to do one after the other, and I have to do QC. Sometimes QC can be, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. You guys have caught me sometimes, like my Q, like I try to be very good, and most of the time I get it right, but it's not always perfect. Doing quality check, and it's just how it is. It's just how it is. So it's just been a grind. It's just a massive grind, but hey, I'm grateful that at least I have a job and I'm able to make my living, right? And guys, if you're enjoying the content that I make, don't buy me a Red Bull. You can find a link to the link in the description of the video if you want to buy me a Red Bull, help support my work, because Red Bull gives me wings. It helps me, gives me the energy so that I can keep on grinding and putting out content for you guys. It's helped me to avoid taking on those rascally channel sponsors that want me to push VPNs. Not that I wouldn't do it, but I prefer. It helps keep me independent. So if you guys want to buy me a Red Bull and say thank you for all the hard work that Angry is doing, you can find the link in the description of the video and buy me a Red Bull to say thanks, Angry. It's like buying me a coffee, only better, because it's ginseng. It's ginseng and it's really really tasty. It's good for me. It's good for the soul. It's good for the soul. Let's let's look at some of the comments. A live stream. Rogue says, "Let's go." Uh, Rep Nation says, "A live stream props." Bobby says, "Can you do a piece on how the job market is destroying normal men? So we defo are not going to try anything with these ladies." We'll see. We'll see. I can try because like I'm looking at the kind of content I did a video recently on the AI bubble. It did not do very well in the algorithm. It didn't do very well in the algorithm, but my video on the Steam machine using unified memory. The first video I put out got like 15,000 views, I think, and then the most recent one that I just did again like a day ago, that's like at 3,000 views and maybe still rising. I don't know. It's the algorithm is crazy. So we'll see. We'll see. Because like I try to ensure that the videos I put out at least are going to get views, but sometimes it's hit or miss. And even videos that are in the manosphere, like I could say like men are not dating anymore, and like the video gets like 5 views, not five, but like 1,000 or less than 1,000, or it takes like a 2 days to get 1,000, or it just never gets 1,000. It's crazy. And then like it could just be a video like dudes are just chilling playing video games and don't care what happens in the rest of the world anymore. And that's a long ass title. 19,000 views. I'm not even shitting you. Like what the holy fuck is that? Like the videos that I put all of the work into, and I'm like, it's all of this love and care, and I give it a pat on the head and I kiss its forehead and I push it out into the world and it gets no fucking views. And then the video that I just like, it's almost like verbal diarrhea, but not quite. And I put it out there, and now everyone's just like eating it up with chopsticks and with chopsticks, and I'm like, bro, that's not even my best work. You're like, we don't give a fuck, Angry. It's one of your best videos. This is your bro. I did not even give a fuck about the video like that. I was not even feeling it like that. You're like, it doesn't matter. We're feeling it, Angry. Dude, you guys suck. We don't care. It was so good. I'm downloading this and adding it to the archive. And I'm like, fuck you. But that's just how it works. That's just it's always the thing that you don't put the effort into that ends up doing the best, and the thing that you put the effort into, it ends up doing the worst. And it's just fucking life. It's just fucking life. It's a part of the bullshit that we call that is life. I got to tell you guys, I'm impressed. I am impressed because I have not done this in a while. I felt like I would be much rustier. I felt like I'd be much rustier than I actually am. It took me a while to get everything set up, but holy fuck, this actually went quite well. Like I got it set up and I'm back into like, radio mode, radio head mode, and I'm talking to you guys like I never miss a beat. Like I just basically dropped the bass and here we are. Oh my gosh. Let me see if there's any more comments. Comments, come on. Come on, guys. What are you saying? What are you talking about, guys? I know that this stream caught a lot of you guys off guard because I haven't been streaming regularly. And it's like so evident because like 32 people are watching, but like, previously, like back in the day, it's like I can get like a lot more than that. Oh, let's see. Oh, shout out to Cosmic Calvin. Cosmic Calvin just dropped a five. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that, bro. Broski. Let me see if I can put it on the screen. Like I said, I'm rusty. I'm rusty. It's the lifestyle. Let me see. Come on. Hmm. Yeah, it's like these things are not. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Calvin just dropped something. Thank you very much for that. Fortunately, it's like usually it would show up in Rumble or it would show up in my stream in StreamYard because I'm using StreamYard, and it's not showing up in Rumble and it's not showing up in StreamYard, so I'm not going to be able to put it on the screen, but I will definitely go ahead and read it. So Calvin just said, what did Calvin just say? Is it Cosby? Calvin says, "What's your thoughts on the upcoming Steam machine?" So I think the Steam machine. Initially, I was really pissed off when it came to the Steam machine, and I was pissed off because of the pricing, and I am still pissed off with the pricing because I think that if this thing costs more than, let's say, 500, if it costs more than $500, it's a bad fucking deal. Like I just want that to be royally fucking clear. Like that needs to be clear as day. If this thing costs more than $500, it's a bad deal. It's a bad deal for the base model, for the 512 model, because bro, who the fuck is going to spend that kind of money for only 512 gigabytes of RAM? 512 gigabytes of storage. Now, like I said, it's going to have unified memory. So, in the reality is that you actually end up having around 24 gigabytes of RAM in there because it has 8 gigabytes from the S, 8 gigabytes from the GPU, and then 16 gigabytes of uh, of system memory. But Steam is treating it as just memory, period, like unified memory that scales based on needs. So the 8 gigabytes are treated like high speed memory, the primary memory, and then the remainder, and then the 16 gigabytes that's treated as secondary memory that scales as needed. So it's treated as unified memory. So you really end up having like 24 gigabytes of memory, really like 20 because the system still needs to use them, but it's really like 20 available, between 20 and 24, less than 20. It's not fully 24, but you get what I'm saying. So you have a lot more memory than you realize. The biggest problem is the SSD. It's like $700, 700 fucking dollars for a device that only gives you let me think, $700 for a device that is not really delivering like that. 1 second, guys. Yeah, sorry about that. I was having some technical difficulties over here on my end. Um, yeah, it ha it happens like that. It happens like that sometimes where it's like, you're like, I'm trying to do something, and it's like it doesn't go as you it doesn't go as you it doesn't go as you wanted it to go. But you don't always get what you want, but you get what you need. You get what you need, and let's see if we found this again. There we go. There we go. Yeah, StreamYard can be a little bit wonky sometimes, but it's good software. I apologize for that momentary breakout where I had to leave you for a little bit. It was not even, it was like a second. It was like 10 seconds. Okay, let me see here. Bobby says, hard finding guys that speak reality. I'm happy to hear from you again. Shout out, Bobby. Thank you. Dove says, I can just build a PC. I don't understand it. Yeah, I know it's psychotic. And the only thing that they have going for them is the fact that RAM is so expensive. 2026 is looking like another year of hell. It's like, you remember, like the year before, like 2019 was, the year 2019 was before 2020 hit, and then it was like all hell broke loose. It's like we all have that feeling where the economy is going to crash. Digital ideas is basically going to become like the surveillance thing, and it's like online safety. The internet is going to become impossible to use. You're going to have to verify your identity everywhere you go. You're going to have to be ID, and who knows? Maybe you want to, it's you're gonna need special it doesn't 2019 isn't looking good. On top of that, there's the whole RAM crisis where consumer electronics are becoming going to be extremely expensive because you can't because RAM is like is causing the prices to skyrocket. Samsung is basically ending. They're not going to make SATA SSDs anymore, which is not a good thing because you use SATA SSDs in a lot of different things, especially if you need more storage and you don't have another slot on your motherboard. It's bad. Crucial is also no longer going to be making consumer memory anymore, consumer RAM anymore. I don't even know if they're going to be making consumer SSDs at all. They're probably exiting as well. So we're going to lose that as an option. So that's going to cause the cost of everything to skyrocket up. It's going to be a nightmare. They're basically just AI is destroying the consumer market. Evidently OpenAI pledged all. And guys, the thing is, like, what's happening right now is like all of these companies are just bouncing money from one. Like, it's the same money. It's not new money. It's not new investments. They're basically just bouncing this money from another company to another company to another company, and it's a lot of IOUs and, like, trust me, bros. It's literally it's the definition of a bubble. And if it gets as bigger it gets, the worse it's going to be when it pops, because they're basically saying that all of this money is like, I'll give you an example. Let's say that there's, like, let's say like 400, like they put $400 billion into this. There's $400 billion from all of these companies invested in AI. They're basically just bouncing all of that same money around, but there's no actual new money coming in. Like there's like a small amount, but it's not a large amount of money. So this massive amount of money, like they're acting like, oh, it's coming, is not there. In fact, there's a video. I'm gonna put this video on where this individual basically explains it a bit better than I am.
Quick question. Why is no one super concerned that the AI bubble, yes, another market bubble, is similar to, if you remember, if you were around for the housing market, the bubble, the crash of 2008? This is 17 times worse. This is 17 times worse. Hold on. Do you not believe me? Because I told you I'd give you sources. There's actually, like, honestly, just Google it. There's so many. And I did a video about this a month ago that really nobody cared about. And you know what? I don't understand why. Why not? Because even though you and me, I'm going to assume you are a commoner like me who doesn't have massive amounts of money invested into tech companies right now, we will be, but maybe just spectators and also potentially really affected by layoffs. Me personally, not going to be directly affected by a layoff because I work for myself, and I wanted to make a joke about that, but moving on. So basically 95% of companies, both Harvard, MIT, and then like a few other sources have reported on this since like a few months ago, but up to 95% of AI tech companies that have invested in AI have not seen a return on investment, which basically means all of the money invested into AI right now is flatlining, and that has basically created this stock market valuation. Like, oh, I'm going to put a random number, we've put 400 billion into AI, so now we're saying our market is up 400 billion. But what's happening is maybe 5 billion, I don't do math, what's 5% of that? Maybe 20 billion, maybe 20 billion has been returned, and then the other 380 billion is actually poof, nothing. Nothing. And that is exactly how a bubble bursts, is that there is at some point, and I'm not a genius about this stuff, but from one commoner to another, basically when that poof goes poof, so does that $380 billion. And so sometimes these companies are operating and making moves based on money they don't actually have. And then what happens when something like this bursts is those layoffs I was just talking about that some people might be affected by, as if we aren't all already affected by terrible employment. And I don't mean all of us, but there is that fun fact that I said last week that 23% of Americans currently earn about half the livable wage. Anyway, happy Wednesday. Bye.
So yeah, basically, I think you got the gist of it. There's no actual real money in the AI economy right now, other than the money that's being bounced around from all of these other companies. So they've spent like $400 billion, let's say $1 trillion, and they basically count that as a gain instead of a loss. But but they're basically trying to, and there's essentially no real money made. They've all just went out on a limb and saying that, oh, we're going to make all of this money. And honestly, I think that a lot of the AI stuff was just a reason so that they can mask the fact that they're like laying everyone off right now. But when this damn thing bursts, I think it's going to be massive, and it's going to, like, trillions of dollars are going to disappear, and they're going to vanish, and no one is going to basically be able to tell us where the fuck they actually went. Oh, I got another. You guys are dropping donations. Okay, so Merrick says, he said, okay, yeah, Merrick just actually joined Angry Guy Premium. Thank you for joining, Meridic. We also have Hendo. I just saw it. Sorry about that. He says, Angry, do you agree social media addiction is a terrible affliction? Close down all but YouTube. Visit occasionally, but always wary of screen time. It absolutely is. Hope you're still here. It absolutely is. Social media addiction is very serious, but it's not just the addiction, it's just using it in general, because you can basically, you don't have to be addicted to social media to be negatively affected by social media, because just by going onto social media you immediately get into the whole doom scrolling thing, and the content is just so fucking negative. I had Instagram, I have Instagram, and like I had to shut it down because like I was constantly going on there, and like the channels that I was following, like follow the pages that I was following, and like, it's just like this, it was just like constant stuff about the world coming to an end, and how the banks actually worked, and how most pretty much everything is mostly owned by three companies. And it was just like it's a big mind fuck. It's like you start to just think like, yeah, there's no hope in the world. And I had to get rid of that, and I was doing better for a while, and then YouTube, all of that stuff just mostly started popping up on YouTube as well. And it's like every day I wake, and it's like it's not something that I can escape being a YouTuber, because I can't escape because I'm a YouTuber. This is where I make my money, and I have to stay informed. So it's just a hard thing, and of course I could try to hide from it, but I can't. It's like I follow channels like Smash JT, and they talk about this shit regularly, so it's like you can't really hide from it, and you have to be aware of it. Like right now, I just picked up another OnePlus device, and I'm going to be trying to at least install Lineage OS on it, because I'm basically trying to I'm basically preparing for winter right now, and I feel like I'm late. I mean, I have like a power bank, and I have another one on the way. Holy shit! The other one's supposed to arrive tomorrow. I'm planning to pick up a PlayStation 4 and a PlayStation 3. I want to get like maybe 20 to 30 PlayStation 4 games, and then like the PlayStation 3, I want to mod it for emulation, and then also and even pick up some physical games. Basically, I'm preparing and like try to get them as cheap as I can. You can get a bunch of games for like $100, or like RPGs, classics like that. The reason why is because these games, they don't actually require an internet connection to play them. You can still play them without the updates. And I'm basically preparing for winter right now. Winter is coming. I need to pick up a Blu-ray player, pick up some DVD, some Blu-rays. Winter is coming. Winter is coming, and when the internet stops working, when we can't access media anymore, when you think that you're like, oh, I'm gonna just use BitTorrent and pirate the shit, and you're like, wait, I can't access it, and like, oh, the VPN sites are no longer working, so your VPN no longer works, and you literally own nothing. You have no music, you have no content, you have no access to anything, and you're like, now you really wish that you had physical media. Yeah, that's what's coming. So I'm preparing for winter. It's hard. I'm really preparing for winter. Like one of the things I actually just did is like I bought a ton. When I say a ton, I just bought like the parts that I need to build my gaming PC. And I explain what happened. Initially, I just planned to pick up the GPU because I was worried that GPU prices were going to increase, and I just basically said, "Fuck it, let me pick up some more RAM, pick up the RAM because the RAM's so expensive." I spent $400 on what was it like CL40 52 megahertz RAM. It's not even like the fastest. It's DDR5, but I 400 fucking dollars, and now it's selling at Best Buy for like almost 800. And it's not even like 600, it's not even like 6,000 megahertz. It's like got to be fucking you've got to be fucking kidding me. It's like it's unbelievable. So I mean I'm doing a build right now. I picked up a B65. It's going to be an AMD build. So I picked up an AM5 motherboard. So B650. I'm learning all of these things as I'm building. I picked up a 9070. I picked up a RX 9070 XT, which is the best AMD GPU you can pick up right now. And picked that up. I picked up for those of you that know about PCs, I picked up a what was it? I picked up a Ryzen 9 9950X3D. That's basically the best CPU on the planet right now. When I went to go buy it, like the guy at the store was like, "Bro, congrats! This is going to be an insane build." I'm like, "Thank you very much." But yeah, I picked that up. So I have the Ryzen 9. I haven't built it yet. I have not built it yet. So I have the Ryzen 9 9950X3D. I have a 9070 XT GPU. I have I picked up a 4 terabyte SSD Gen 4 and also a 2 terabyte Gen 4 SSD. I should have just bought. I need to get a UPS. A UPS is an uninterruptible power supply. Power supply. So basically, if like the power goes out, my hardware doesn't get fried. It's just been so expensive. I've spent way over 3,000. I've spent closer to $4,000 at this point for this build, and I still don't have everything I need. I just picked up some new thermal I just picked up some new thermal shields for two of the SSDs because I didn't even know that I needed them. So those are on the way. I need to pick up another SSD also because I'm planning because I realize I'm going to need to dual boot two versions of Linux. I'm gonna need to boot Linux Mint and then also boot Linux Bazite so that I can game on Bazite but use Linux Mint for work and then also have Windows 11 as a backup as well. I don't want Windows in my life anymore, but it's still necessary to have it just in case. So I need to have all of that. So I already have two SSDs, but I need one more. It's expensive. I'm crazy. I'm so fucking crazy. I spend so much fucking money when it comes to I, I like that, and it's like there's a saying like buy it nice or buy it twice. So I know myself, which is the reason why I do things like this, why I'm spending this much. Because like it's like I can make a much cheaper build, but I'm going to be using it for work, for producing content. Like, and the faster that I can finish my videos, the faster I can put out more videos for you guys. So you get the whole idea behind it right now. You get the whole idea. So there's a method to the madness, but yeah, this is a $4,000 build. This is a $4,000 build, and I have to work my ass off because I'm gonna have to pay that shit off because some of that's on credit, most of it's on credit, all of it's on credit. Yeah, I've got to work my I got to work my ass off. It's because like it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it because winter is coming, and I realize it's going to be now or never when it comes to building this unit. It's either because or else I'll be end up being locked out. Like I'm so glad that even though it's hard, I'm glad that I went down this path because yeah, bro, $800 for the RAM for bullshit RAM that I just purchased. It's not bullshit, but it's like $800 for RAM that would have cost like $150 or less like 2 months earlier, 3 months earlier, and now it's like 800 and I paid 400. Like, get the fuck out of here. But that's just how bad things are at this moment. That's how terrible things are at this moment, and I just don't foresee them getting better right now. Guys, I need to take a quick pee. Your friendly neighborhood angry guy needs to take a quick pee. So I'm gonna go and take a quick pee, and I'll be back in just a few minutes while I go and take my quick pee. All right, but I will be right back. I'm back in action. Back in action. Back in action, children. Uncle Angry is back in action to save the. I had turned the microphone off and I had just started. It was only going for like five, like maybe 10 seconds or less. But imagine if I had, imagine if I had not noticed. I turned the microphone off and holy fuck! Imagine if I had just kept on talking and didn't realize that it was off. Holy shit, that would have been bad. You guys would have been like, "What's going on?" There's no sound. There's no fucking sound. But we were okay, man. We're okay. Everything is okay. We we made it through. We made it through this one. You guys are just not playing games. Bobby says AI is shit. Let me read the super chat from Cosmic Calvin. He says, "You think we will have to go to UBI when AI takes all the jobs down the road? I wonder what the dynamics between men and women will be like." Women will basically be arrogant. They'll basically act like, "Oh wow, we don't need you motherfuckers anymore. See that? We have our UBI." But UBI is a trap. It's a terrible, terrible trap because basically, if you want to participate in society, UBI will be contingent with digital ID and surveillance. So if you want to survive, if you want to live, you and receive your UBI or universal high income, whatever the hell they call it, it's a load of bullshit. Then you're going to have to be you will basically have to obey, have digital ID, and all of this other BS. Women, of course, will be fully supportive of it because they have a very more collectivist mindset. So they're like, well, that the government is going to give us what we want, so they're going to take care of us. So we don't give a fuck. So so it works out like that. But of course it's a trap. It's a complete and utter trap. The relationship between men and women, when women are collecting UBI, it's going to be even worse because now they're going to say, well, men are not. If you think things are bad now, women are basically going to dislike us even more, because if they're getting the same amount of money that we're getting, then they're going to view it that they're better than us. It's all about status. The only guys that they're going to be interested in at that point is Chad and Tyrone. Because if they don't need us in any way, basically, if you're not a Chad or a Tyrone, you're not in that top 1% of men that they're chasing, then your only value is utility. And if they no longer need you for utility, then the anger and aggression, they're not going to want to see you. Like feminism is only going to become louder and louder, even as their happiness diminishes. It's only going to be louder and louder, and they're going to feel like they're even better and better than us with a UBI. And the only option, and I don't even know if that'll be an option anymore, is basically leaving the US, leaving Western society. I talked about it, men leaving the West. But with this situation with digital ID, it's like no matter where you go, you're kind of fucked. Kind of screwed. Kind of screwed. So it's a hard situation left and right. No matter how you try to cut those muffins, yeah, you're kind of screwed, Cal. We're kind of screwed, Calvin. Cosmic Calvin. Bobby says AI is sheet. It's it's just a bunch of my fellow Indians on the other side talking shit. Holy fuck. Oh my gosh. The only bubble that bursts is the job market. Bobby says they don't employ working class British born men anymore, especially if you are a qualified poor person. You are so right. The dodgy content is messing with our minds. Dub says books are underrated. DS says the loss of Fry Electronics was huge blow was a huge blow to all of us. I mean, we have Micro Center now, but I don't really trust them. Micro Center, Microsoft, yeah, something doesn't sound right there. Unk says Studio Ganayax is shut down. Is that I've heard that one of them shut down. I forget which anime they made, but I know it's some big ones. I think that's the one you're talking about. WW2 says, I don't know how to invest yet. I want to start somewhere. You're talking about crypto. Go check out Angry's Crypto Academy to learn how to buy, sell, and trade crypto and make massive profit. It's linked in the description of the video if you want to learn how to invest in crypto. WW2 says invest my $10 to turn it into 10 million in like 10 decades, in like 2 decades, maybe 3. I have to be patient. I don't know if you're going to be able to pull, like, basically every hell on earth is coming, but yeah, definitely invest in crypto because everything is, you're basically, because of inflation, if you have crypto, it's just naturally going to increase in value because the value of money is going to deteriorate so much more, and everyone's going to be searching for assets where they can put their wealth because we don't really own anything. So everyone's going to be looking like, where the hell can I quickly put my assets, to store my value, that cannot be taken away from me, because with CBCD, with CB DC, so central bank digital currency, they're kind of doing that with stable coins right now, where they're basically saying these stable coins have to be backed by the United States government, and they have to be they can freeze them, they can take them back. That's kind of how PayPal stable coin works, and that's very much how PayPal stablecoin works. And it's basically a form of central bank digital currency without them actually issuing their own central bank digital currency, and it's not good. So people are going to say, well, what options do I have? Well, how can I, how can I quickly store my wealth outside of this centralized industry? And the only option is going to be Bitcoin. It's going to be Ethereum. It's going to be my favorite Litecoin. It's going to be others. And I tell you which coins to invest in over at Angry's Crypto Academy. And people who invest, you're going to basically naturally see your investments increase because everyone's going to be flooding in. Like, I don't want to, if you want to live outside of this ecosystem, if you want to live outside of the ecosystem where, you can have your money confiscated at any moment, you're going to have to move over to crypto. And those of us that are holding crypto, those of us that know which cryptos to hold, we're going to basically be able to take full advantage of that. But right now is the time to act. The markets are down, so you should be investing. I keep telling you guys, these are the coins to invest in. This is the time to invest. Don't let fear, uncertainty, doubt fuck with your head. This is when people basically, it's Warren Buffett's philosophy. When everyone is selling, you should be buying, and when everyone is buying, you should be selling. So right now is the time when everyone should be buying. Okay, when everyone is selling right now. This is when everyone should be buying. When the markets are low, this is when you should be going in and buying up certain coins cheap. Like, for example, Donald Trump's crypto, you should buy that up. Like, it's dirt cheap. Put like 10, $20 into it. Melania's coin, because those coins might end up in an ETF later on because Trump loves Trump. Okay, and then they'll go from being selling for $10 a pop, or in the case of Melania's coins, like 50 cents or 70 cents a pop, to like $20 or $100 a piece. So you have to be mindful of it. Take small risk, but and if you don't invest more than you're willing to lose. So like, I wouldn't put more than $100. If I can't lose more than $100, put $100, and you'd be surprised that $100 can end up being worth tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands just from that small investment. You can't just sit on your hands and basically say, I'm going to just watch how things are going to happen. It's during the worst of times when you should be taking at least some chances. That's the honest to goodness truth. Okay. Let's see. Let me read some more of your comments. This ended up becoming one of those kinds of streams where I just basically read your it ended up becoming one of those kinds of streams where I just basically read your comments, I guess. I guess you guys needed this interaction. DS says Windows XP will never be topped. It probably won't. It probably won't. It was such a good operating system. I really enjoyed it. I actually used Windows 2000. I loved Windows 2000 so much. It was so stable. I worked in IT. So back in like the early 2000s, I was working in IT, literally 2000, and we used Windows 2000, and it was just so stable. It was so smooth. I still dream of Windows 2000 to this day because it was so clean. XP was lit. I will never have XP ever again. I never used Windows 7. I think a lot of people really liked Windows 7. I never used it. Somehow I missed it entirely. I experienced Windows 8. I hated 8. I hated 8.1. It was just terrible. Windows 8 was horrible. I hated the whole tile grid thing. Steve Ballmer, I think that was his name. He loved that. He introduced the whole tile thing. He destroyed Windows Phone with that shit. But yeah, I hated Windows 8. It was one of the worst things ever. I should have moved to fucking Linux at that point. Like, I should have moved, like, when that happened, I should have moved over to Linux, but I was just like, no, I was still like a fucking holdout. But, you know how it is. Bobby says, how easy is it to run emulators on PS Slim? I didn't know PlayStation 3 could be modded. I haven't played since the N64 days in Dreamcast. I haven't done it yet, but a lot of people have done it. Some of my subscribers have done it, and clearly it's not as it takes probably a little work, but it's definitely worth it. I mean, I'm running emulators right now on my Legion Go S. I've got PlayStation 4 games, PlayStation 3 games. They run pretty well. They run pretty well. I'm really enjoying those. It's been like a few weeks since I've really jumped into my Legion Go S though, because I've been so busy with everything. WW2 says, as a Gen Z man, I have to get into the trenches before I can get successful. I'm 20, still unemployed currently right now. Still, yeah, dude, you're gonna have to build your own opportunities. Forget about the job market. Forget about the 9 to 5. I mean, I would focus on the gig economy, and even then, it's like it's becoming it's becoming oversaturated because that's basically the new economy. Like the 9 to 5 is dead. Everyone is trying to live off the gig economy right now. We're transitioning over to the creator economy, which is why I have Angry's Creator Academy. You guys can go check that out. It teaches you how to build your own remote business using social media like YouTube to grow it, and that's what you should be looking into. You should learn how to set up an LLC, how to use LLCs to protect your wealth, and how to build wealth using your own business, creating multiple streams of income. I have multiple streams of income, and sometimes they're up, sometimes they're down, but it's pretty cool still being able to say, oh, I have all of these different streams of income. There's money coming from this, money coming from this, money coming from this, money coming from this. Even if it's not a ton of money, I have money coming from all of these different businesses. And I started this path, like I decided to start on this path over a year ago. And I was like, no, I need to build out these multiple streams of income rapidly. And I started building out multiple different streams of income. And it's like it was the smartest move I could make, because even no matter what happens, I still have money coming from different places. If it's not coming from YouTube, it's coming from this, multiple different places. So, and you just have to do it. You have to learn how to build an online business. And I teach you how to do that over at Angry's Creator Academy. Also, crypto is a backup. I mean, you can put your crypto into cold storage, and that's basically a backup for that's basically a that's basically a bet for when the ATM stop working, the banks chain the doors, and you cannot access your money anymore. That's what happened in Greece. That's what happened in Venezuela. That's what's going to happen in the United States and the EU. All right, and everyone is going to basically be fucked, and there's not going to be anything you can do about it. That is the way of the world. Like, do not become complacent. Like, you need to have a backup. Calvin says, let me see here. I read that comment already. Bobby says, I got a GameCube, but barely used it. Basically, I had a girlfriend, and then she used up all my time and money. That's unfortunate, man. You should consider modding the GameCube, maybe, if you already have it. I think you probably can mod it. Should look into modding it if you can mod it. Bobby, I got a GameCube but barely used it. Basically, I had a girlfriend, and then I had a girlfriend then, and she used up all my time and money. And he's there crying. Like, yeah, that's like guys, don't be like Bobby. I hope he learned a lesson. Hope you learned a lesson. Seems like he may have learned a lesson. Like, these are the consequences. These are the consequences of these are the consequences, bro, of when you have girlfriends. It's like it just costs you all of this money and time, and you end up losing everything. You end up losing things, end up losing yourself. You become like there we go. You can put that comment on the screen. I got a GameCube. Yeah, yeah, man. That's what happens, man. That's what happens when you mess around with girls. You mess around, you find out. All right, you lose you lose your time, you lose your money, and then you become miserable. You lose the things that are meaningful to you, bro. Don't be like Bobby. Learn from Bobby. Learn from Bobby. All right, leave him alone. Leave the ladies alone. Focus on yourself. Oh boy. Let's continue going. Let's keep going. Jex says I still have a functional Windows 7 spare PC. I play I play old games on it. That's pretty cool. Dub says Gen Z will be locked out of the job market. Gen Z will be locked out of society. That's really what they're going for. Oh gosh. Let's keep going. And shout out to all the channel members in here. Shout out to all the channel members. Shout out to the channel members. Shout out to everyone who's been donating. That's really awesome of you. But shout out to all the channel members because you guys are awesome. Shout out to everyone who's been giving me hype points. You guys are great. Appreciate that. Hendo says, I bought Angria Red Bull back to my music trance as it happens. Peace out, Jens. Let me see if I can get your comment on here. Where the heck? So I bought Angria Red Bull. Let me see here. Yeah. Hendo said that he bought me a Red Bull. Let me go check. Let me go and check and see if you did buy me a Red Bull. Let me see if I got some wings. Or maybe that was a while ago. Maybe he meant to say he bought it for me a minute ago. Yeah, there's no recent Red Bull, so you didn't buy it on the stream. Maybe you bought it for me a minute ago. Thanks though. Appreciate it. Appreciate if you bought me the Red Bull a minute ago. Real or maybe you donated via the stream. Thank you. Appreciate it regardless. Let's see here. WW2 says, I think it started to decline in 1962 when Marilyn Monroe wanted to be in the physical intimacy let's just say the word sex revolution. Bobby says, I do have an emulator on my old backup PC, but it's too slow now and loud. Yeah. Jay says, I walked away decades ago. It was easy to discern for me. Even back then, I was desired by them and still am. They get they get nasty and when rejected, most of them. Jeez. WW2 says also women in Rome started to really hate men once they got weak. It was bad. It was a bad idea when women basically got all of these rights equal to men. I mean, when women are put on the same footing as men, basically if they have nothing to look forward to, if they don't have women want to look up to men. They want a man who's better than them. This is the reason why a woman will be a millionaire, but she still wants to marry a man who's way wealthier than her. She's not going to go and marry someone who makes less money than her, who's less famous than her, because even if he's a good person, even if he can make her happy, it doesn't matter. Women are chasing status. They always want a man who has more money, higher status than she does. So, when men and women were put on the same footing in the Roman Empire, that was basically the beginning and the beginning of the end with that society. Bobby says, early 2000s, I had a girlfriend early before my mates. I broke up years later when my mates finally pulled done gals and wise. Now nearly all of them are unhappy and discovering what I did. Yeah. You guys are still mourning Fry's. Rest in peace, Fry's Electronics. I don't think I ever went to a Fry's. Doug says women's rights and lefts, if you ask me. Jay says there will be much weeping, wailing, and gnashing of teeth, tearing up of hair and rending of garments. Damn. WW2 says, I had a girlfriend in kindergarten. I felt I peaked in kindergarten. I wanted to get married in 2010 in kindergarten. Lol. Had the fake rings. Had the fake rings, all that. Lol. I was well liked in kindergarten. Only grade I was popular. It's amazing. You're talking about kindergarten, so you really are like 20 years old. Jeez, bro. Kindergarten. You're so young. You're so young. I'm in my early 40s now. I'm in my early 40s now, but it's just crazy here. You talk about kindergarten. Kindergarten was like, geez, like 37 years ago for me. So it's crazy here. You talk about kindergarten, man. But at 20 years old, damn, you still remember kindergarten? DS says, poor little Poncho. Little Poncho is gonna be, the ladies are gonna be fighting for little Poncho. L3 says, philosophical gamer seems to promote it a lot. Thoughts on him mentioning you in almost all of his videos? I mean, as he has a hard on for me, obviously. So if that's his thing, that's just his thing. I don't give a flying fuck. All right. I refuse to really really waste my time with him. I don't have anything against him. I've actually watched some of his videos. I think he makes a lot of great points when he talks about, the fall of the Roman Empire and stuff like that. I never had any problem with him. He just won't keep my name out of his mouth. He's just trying to use my name to grow his channel. He calls me the worst Gen Z hater of them all and take down the biggest, help me get to like 60,000 subscribers so we can take down the biggest, baddest, meanest Gen Z hater of them all. And he like names off Timothy Pool and some others. But me, I'm like, he calls me the final boss. Like, bro, I'm just here hustling and trying to make a life for myself, bro. I don't have time for this. I talk about Gen Z's bad behaviors, the fact that they need to get their shit together. And you're like, you hate Gen Z, bro. I don't hate them. I'm calling out their bullshit. All right. Like that's like imagine you call out someone's bullshit and they call it hate. Like I'm like Gen Z is passing away. Like a lot of Gen Zs are passing away because they're living unhealthy lives. You hate Gen Z. Gen Z looks like they're aging rapidly. They need to really, get their shit together. You hate Gen Z, bro. I don't hate anyone. I'm just talking about their bad lifestyles. They need to, work on that. So a lot of people just cannot handle feedback. But again, I don't even know if the guy really hates me. I just think the guy is using my name to grow his channel, and I think in like his most last couple of videos he hasn't even mentioned me because he's like help me get to this many subscribers by the end of the year so that we can take him down. Right now I'm at like 59,500, so I'm like really pushing against 60,000, getting close and close to 60,000, and I think the guy's like at 40,000. I don't know, somewhere around there. But it doesn't look like he's gonna take me down anytime soon, unless there's a miracle and he gets a bunch of subscribers or I lose a bunch of subscribers. Hopefully I don't. So and it's like we literally only have like 15 days or like 15 days before like 2026 and all hell breaks loose. So I don't know if he's gonna pull that miracle off, and I think he knows it too. But he'll probably start the bullshit back up again next year, saying that like they got he's like we got very close to taking down the nastiest of the nastiest Gen Z haters. Help me pull it off, and we can finally take him down. Like, bro, keep my name out your mouth. But even if you don't, I don't care. I am not fighting with you, dude. I am not warring with you. It's not that I'm afraid of the smoke. It's just that I don't care. All right, I literally don't care. I see some of his followers come over like, why is it true that you hate Gen Z? No, from that would mean that I actually care about them. Like the MGTOWs used to say that like, the worst thing you can do is not hate, it's indifference. I'm not even really indifferent to these kids. I just don't care. I don't hate them, nor am I really indifferent to them. I feel bad I feel bad, for some of the things that have happened to them. So I'm not even straight up indifferent to them. I just really don't care. I just don't care. Like I think that's the best way of putting it. They're not a group of people that I really care about that much. I used to empathize for them. I don't really empathize for them as much anymore. I empathize for some things, but not for everything. And I just realized it's a different generation. That's all there really is to it. And I'm not gonna waste my time worrying about these people or worrying about philosophical gamer and whatever he wants to do. He can do him. I'm not. I've got other things to do. The world is kind of burning down around us. Like, why the hell am I going to waste my time with someone worrying about someone like that? Said the audio is cutting out. Sorry about that. I apologize if the audio is cutting out because like I have like the internet connection I'm on is like a 700, almost a 1 terabyte almost a one is it terabit 1 gigabit internet connection terabit. Yeah, I wish it's almost a 1 gigabit internet connection. So I don't know. Can't really do much better. I apologize if the audio is cutting out. Maybe I said that a while ago though. Oh, I really wanted to give you guys like at least a 1 hour video. So I think I'm close to having done that for you guys. Let's see here. J Rex says Gen Z will sort out their own delusional reprobate. Dub says dodgy car salesman routine. Oh boy. Jay says there is many more based or open to wisdom in Gen Z than the loud loons. I hope so. I hope so because it's like a lot of the people who come to me for wisdom are Gen. It's great. Like this is how wise Gen Xers are. This is how wise Gen Xers are. Gen Xers are so wise that they come to me. They come to me, teasingly call me Uncle Angry, and ask me for wisdom. Just because I have wisdom and I don't know everything, nor am I wiser in every way, but Gen Xers come to me to take the knowledge that I have so that they can apply it and add it to their library. You see, what smart men learn from their own mistakes and experiences. Wise men learn from the mistakes and experiences of other men. That's what makes Gen X so wise. So if there's something that I know that they don't, they're like that I can explain because I've learned from other men. Like people like Angry, where do you get this type of wisdom from? How did you gain such knowledge? What kind of life must you have lived? Well, I've gained a lot of knowledge from my experiences, but I'm able to interpret things and learn things because I've learned from other men. The key to gaining wisdom is not to try to learn everything on your own through experience. The key to learning, the key to the key to gaining wisdom is to learn from the experiences of other men. That's the key. That's the secret. That's what a wise man is. People think a wise man is a man who has walked all of these roads and experienced all of these things, and a lot of the times, you know, they gain wisdom through experience, but they get but most wisdom does not come from one's own experiences. A lot of it can. Most wisdom comes from learning from the experiences of others. That's where wisdom actually comes from. Most wisdom comes from learning from the experiences, the mistakes and experiences of others. That's the source of wisdom. So Gen Xers can be quite wise because they'll come and say, "Hey, Uncle Angry, explain this to me." Even some baby boomers, I don't like them, but they'll come to me and they'll ask me for wisdom because they're a generation of people who just didn't really know much about life. They are the least wise generation. It's amazing how in their 70, almost 80 years of life on this planet, they've gained almost no wisdom. But that's because they lived and died by the institutions that gave them everything, and including our futures. So they felt like they never had to. We see here. Let's see here. Let's try to like read some of this, like read some of your comments. Let's see here. Let me catch back up. Oh. L3 says that it's good that he invested in silver a couple of months ago, where he says where my $180 used to where my $180 I used is now worth 310. Damn, bro. That is sick. Congrats, bro. Con fucking grats, man. You made bank. Made absolutely bank. Let me see. Let me jump over here, make sure there are no more super chats. Because you guys like to catch me off guard with those. See if I can catch that comment from Cosmic Cat from Calvin. Let me see here. Un says, like I said, I'm getting into crypto next year. Try to do it early next year, like January. Bobby says, I ran 2000 for years, then I went to Vista. I'm so sad you went to Vista. Vista was so terrible, bro. I forgot all about Vista. Oh my gosh, Vista. Vista. Holy fuck. Vista. I think I played with Vista. It brings back bad memories. Like that was some oh my god, it's like Microsoft just it's like they keep fucking up, like fuck it up, fuck it up, fuck it up. So it's like they go from one good OS and then they go to another bad OS. It's like Windows 95 was garbage. 98 was better than 95, but it wasn't great. Still kind of buggy. Then we had Windows 2000 most, but it was professional. I think it was 2000 professional. So basically it was only in business mostly, but it was amazing. It was so stable. I loved it. Then we had Windows XP, if I recall, and it was lit. And then after XP, I think we had Windows Vista was absolutely horrible. And then we had Windows 7, which was incredible. I never used it, but I know people like I think I did play with it a little bit. It was a good operating system. Then after 7, we had Windows 8 or 8.1. I think it was 8 and then 8.1. I absolutely hated it. It was terrible. I think 8.1 tried to fix some of it, but it was still bad. And then after we had Windows 8, we had Windows 10, which was not bad. Windows 10 was pretty good. It was not as good as Windows, say Windows 7 or Windows XP, but it was still quite functional. And it was much better than Windows 11. Windows 11 is now essentially spyware, and it's far less customizable. And yeah, now we're waiting for Windows 12, which is probably going to be the granddaddy of digital enslavement. But yeah, that's pretty much. Usually they have, it's like they have one good version, then one bad version, then one good version, then one bad version. But Windows 12 is shaping up to be a very very bad version, because like because they're loading it full of AI. Like Windows 11 is already stuffed chock full of Copilot and all this other garbage that no one wants. That's why I'm moving over to Linux. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know, guys. It's like winter is here. Winter is here. So it's gonna be. And the thing about the UBI is like they give you just enough to survive and not enough to thrive. I don't know how feasible a UBI actually is. L says once I buy a new MacBook Pro, I'll be turning my 9-year-old ear into a Linux machine. That's what's up. That's what's up. Bobby says, I feel like they made Windows Phone crap on purpose because they didn't want people having everything compatible on a phone. You might be right about that. I think it would have cannibalized their own PCs and laptops. You're probably right. They suck. They absolutely suck. Bobby says the EU is awful. They absolutely are. They're trying to push this whole thing now where every message will have to be scanned. They can scan your messages, your images. It's a nightmare what's going on over there. Rich says, fuck yeah, Angry Rules. Appreciate that. Bobby says, I haven't been in a relationship since 10 years, for 10 years straight. After Union 22 to 30, after Union 22 to 32 wasted. Okay. Uh, Rich says, I was just thinking you should do a live stream. I feel bad for my Rumble people because I fucked it up and I didn't go to I put it on I selected the wrong Rumble channel. So they didn't get notifications. So basically, you could just, you should just basically consider this a like a YouTube exclusive live stream. I know Rumble is like, and I was like hoping to do this for the Rumble guys, but I know they were kind of mean to me. Like there was like I was getting a lot of really nasty people at one point though. And they were like, "We're gonna chase them off this platform." Like so, I mean, it is what it is. Like it is what it is. Fuck them. Forget them, bro. I think it was such a great idea though for me to buy all of the parts. Hoping like I basically I was like I subscribe to the philosophy buy it nice or buy it twice. I even picked up a during the Black Friday sale. I even picked up a Starlink Mini, so I could set that up at home. Picked up the Starlink Mini. I picked up a window mount. I do need to set it up, and then I have like a $5 standby plan, so I need to get the whole thing set up. I'm preparing for 2020. I mean for 2026. I'm treating 2026 like 2020, where like I'm expecting hell on earth. I'm expecting food shortages. Like I like like for like what my Christmas shopping is going to be like. I'm waiting until like some funds come in next week. You know what my Christmas shopping is going to be? It's going to literally be like canned goods, like buying a storage container and just like filling it with canned goods and like tablets that'll let you can use to dissolve that you can dissolve in your pee to make it drinkable. I think those exist. I'm not playing games. Like I'm basically like I've just been like stocking up. Like I'm definitely a prepper. I'm not the best of the preppers. I wish I had worked harder at it, but definitely have the prepper mindset. Like I said, I want to pick up the PlayStation. I want to pick up a PlayStation 4 ASAP and buy like maybe like 50 games, 40, 50 games, at least 20 RPGs, games that I want because evidently with the PlayStation 4, it's not like the PlayStation 5 where you need to have an online connection and all that other bullshit. You don't need any of that shit. So, even with physical games. So yeah, like I'm planning to like pick up Fallout, pick up a bunch of RPGs that I like. Even newer titles. Like I'm planning to like just basically stock up on some good PlayStation 4 games. I also pick up a PlayStation 3. I'm preparing for winter. I'm preparing for winter. I feel like we're almost out of time, but I'm doing my best so that when everything goes crazy, when all the media is gone, all right, I will have my Blu-ray. I'll have a Blu-ray player, and I will be able to watch whatever movie. I'll have like a bunch of movies, and I'll watch all of these movies, all of this anime. Really won't mean a lot to me. Catch up on Friends. All right, go back to like I'm not playing. I am so freaking serious. You know, I need to set up a NAS. Basically, a NAS is like your own cloud server. I need to set up a NAS. It's just like the expense is so insane because I've been learning so much rapidly, and that lets you basically it's a cloud server where you can back up everything from emails to videos, everything like that, and try to get all of that done so I can back up my GOG games to it, like my GOG games because those are DRM free. Back those up on that so that I have all of my digital games. Well, not every single one because it's I have over 500 GOG games, I think, but a lot of them. So I have those. I'm preparing for winter. I'm preparing for winter. I have over five. I have, yeah, on GOG I have 549 games. I just like pulled it up. 549 games. Yeah, I have a lot of games over there. Almost 1,500 on Steam, over 500 on GOG. So, yeah, it's basically winter preparation, batten down the hatches, everything. Like have water filter. I need to get a water filtration system going. Also, it's just so much preparing for hell on earth. And it's like, I mean, maybe we won't make it. I don't know if I'm going to make it through. We'll see. I mean, I also have like almost 100 Nintendo Switch games that are all physical games. But although I'm like, part of me is like, just like I had planned to like sell the collection, so I don't know if I'm gonna keep them or not. But I'm not really too worried. I'm not too worried about a lot of things right now. I mean, I'm worried about some things, but I'm preparing the best I can. I gotta get the whole food thing situated so that I have all like, all the canned foods ready to go. Like, there's condensed milk. Evidently, that's like you can store that for a long period of time. Stuff like that. I gotta work on my skills, building stuff. Like it's like trying to get everything in order. It's exhausting, and I'm like putting out all of this content for you around the clock because I'm preparing for hell on earth. That's and anyone can see this. Like you guys should be preparing. Most of you guys should be preparing. Many of you guys are like still thinking there's a future. There is no future. There is no future. Shout out to Mr. Mister. Sorry, Mr. Mister, about the stream not being on the not it not being right on Rumble because I think you like Rumble. I'm sorry about that. I just kind of fucked it up choosing the wrong account. DS says, poor little Poncho, he will keep the boss babes with more money, warm and delusional. Jesus, you guys are bad. You guys are bad. You guys are bad. Guys are bad. Poor little Pancho. Poor little Panchito. Samuel says, I love all your videos. I appreciate that, man. Endo says, how do I buy a Red Bull? You can buy me a Red Bull by using the link in the description of the video. Buy me a Red Bull using the link in the description video. The link is in the description of the video if you want to buy me a Red Bull. Cosmic says, don't worry, AI robot wives are coming. I say you can get a robot get a robot about $20,000 that will do all the chores and an AI companion that can carry a conversation with men's interests. I think for $20,000 you're going to get a lower end device. I don't think you're gonna really I don't really think that we're gonna be able to get like the really good stuff. I think like a real AI companion is gonna be like $100,000. Like it's gonna be an entirely new industry. Like when the real genuine AI companions are gonna be able to walk and talk to you and stuff like that. We're talking like 100 to $200,000, and there's gonna be one like models for $1 million that us peasants will never be able to afford, and it's like that look like Megan Fox from like that AI movie that she did. Evidently she did like a movie where she was playing a robot, but it's like I think like it's going to take a while, but eventually it'll trickle down to us maybe. But that's again, we shouldn't even be worrying about that shit right now. We should be worrying about surviving 2026 and the foreseeable future and the hell on earth and digital ID and mass surveillance and central bank digital currency and state and internet restrictions and all the other stuff that's happening. I don't think we should be worrying so much about being able to make love to a lover bot. Making love to a lover bot. You remember like Don't Date Robots, Futurama? Don't date robots. I wish I could show you the film, but Disney will strike my ass. They've already done it for the clip. Jay says Gen Z will sort out their own delusional root. Okay, so we already saw that. J Rex says we've all been indoctrinated to some point at some time. It's recognizing that and sorting gold from dross. Yeah, I mean it's basically pattern. You have to use pattern recognition. Jay says Windows Hall of Shame, Vista 8 11. 95 belong, I would say 95 and 98 definitely belong in there. 95 100% belongs in there. You know, I don't know much about Windows 3.1. I never used it, but Windows 95 was one of the worst operating systems ever known to man. I mean, it basically, you know, like how like like how you're not supposed to use old versions of Windows because they're end of life, so that they don't get updates anymore and it's susceptible to viruses. That's like how Windows 95 was out was out of the jump. It was basically at the end of its life from the very moment it released. I think it was 95. I can't remember if it was 95 or 98, where Bill Gates was like on stage trying to show it off, and the damn thing crashed on him, and he basically just smiled it off. Like I don't know. I don't know. It was such a bad. In fact, after that happened, he basically had to, like, I don't know if he stepped down as CEO, but he had to like basically go back to the Windows team, and take control of the Windows team evidently, and sit there with them and watch them like they were babies, and I don't know, teach them how to code again and discipline them. Like, this is how messed up it is. Like, you have to basically watch people. You have to watch people and make sure people do their jobs correctly, or they will do absolute effing nonsense. Absolute fucking nonsense. Cosmic says that boomers are compartmentalized, compartmentalized idiots. There, you see how I sounded it out? Gen Z can learn a thing. They can learn things. They can learn things. Like, sound it out, kids. Sound it out. Dub says the global elites want to. Yeah, gotta get rid of that. Can't say that here. Jay says Windows 12 will make people learn Linux fast. Yeah, like they're trying to like change the system hardware to make it harder to install Linux on a lot of devices. Rico says greetings, angry. Shout out Rico. Shout out Rico. Mr. says I will opt for the electronic waifu and not the physical government issued waifu. Probably some uh on some individuals not very nice. Nice physically on the eyes or in period. Let me see here. Dub says you want enough food stored in order to relocate to an area where you can grow food. Thanks for the tip. That's so true. Mr. says if you video yourself recycling your pee, your social credit score might go up, especially with the vegan nut jobs. Jesus Christ. Oh God. Rich says not expecting next year to be good either. Things are too dysfunctional now. Are they not? Let's see here. Bobby says, I kept all my pre-smartphone technology. That's all I have been using. I haven't bought anything serious, any serious toys why since PlayStation 3 days. So I'm feeling good about not being able to afford the new stuff. Yeah, you see here. Jay says all good until this AI achieves full self-awareness. Then you don't have to that you don't want to have a robot woman who is stronger than you and doesn't like you. Yeah, I've thought about that. Like, I'd be so scared with these AI robots that are physically stronger than us, and like yeah. And even before they achieve self awareness, it doesn't matter because they can be hijacked by hackers, and those hackers can use them to control alt delete us. Bobby says we will see these robotic AI chicks walking everywhere. Robo mode, robo lover mode. J Rex says Vista and 8 were products of incompetence. Windows 11 is intentional, 100%. 100, it's straight spyware. Rich says, bro, my boomer dad was always on the phone with Microsoft customer service constantly. I'm impressed he could even use a computer. My boomer father couldn't use shit. Rico says, "Are women doomed angry unless they get some massive bailout from the government or universal high income, not basic income, universal high income comes and save them? Because universal basic income will basically trap everyone into a massive cycle of poverty. Universal basic income is like $2,000 a month. You can't live on that, and if you try to live on that, you will be trapped into an endless cycle of poverty. Okay, it's 100% a trap. And then even with universal high income, where Elon's like, well, job work will become optional, that's not something that's going to come anytime soon. And the problem with universal high income is that it's just going to make the rich even richer and further, further force everyone to basically obey the system or be locked out of survivability. It's pushing us towards a reality where you will not be allowed to participate in society unless you are like collect your money unless you obey. It's a terrible idea, terrible idea. But unless the government bails women out, then no, they're not going. Most women are not going to be able to survive very well, or at all without the assistance of men, because they've been living off the simp economy and off the state for the last 20 years especially, but 50 years and 50 years overall. So there's unless the state bailed them out, unless the simp bailed them out, and it's not happening. There's just not the simp economy has collapsed. So unless men rescue women, unless it's not happening, it's not. They're screwed. They're screwed because they're not. Women were not designed to live without a husband. So the average woman has basically lived life on easy mode. They don't know how to deal with hardships, nor are they designed for it. Women were not designed to live without a husband. They were not designed to live without the utility, without the provision and protection of men. They traded men for the provision of the state, and now basically the state is broke, it can't take care of them anymore, and they're demanding men save them, but at the same time, like real, if you don't help us, then we're going to punish you, we're going to send the state after you. It's like, how, bro, are you making threats while demanding that we rescue you, and then you're like trying to shame us? The thing is that women believe that men exist to serve them. That's the biggest problem. So it's not going to it's just not going to they're not going to be able to survive without us. Many of them will have fallen into extraordinary poverty and destitution. It's going to be most women at this point because the jobs are all disappearing. The average man can live happily in a shoebox at the side of the road. The average woman cannot. So it's not going to go well. It's going to be very, very hard for women. It's going to be hell on earth for women, and men basically will find a way to survive because they have to. JD says when prices keep going up, is it inflation or greedflation? It's a combination of both. Inflation is created in Washington. The only thing that actually creates inflation it's not created anywhere else than other than Washington. It's created when they keep on printing money. So every time the feds print more money, the government prints money to pay its bills. They have to print more, they borrow more, and that money basically that money deflates the value of our currency because it causes the prices of everything to go up. And aside from that, there's also greedflation, which is companies raising prices because they have to, because every quarter they have to basically show more and more profits. So the only way to keep on showing profits is to keep on increasing prices while also reducing reducing the amount, the product and service. So for example, you pay more and you get less. That's what they're doing because that's how the entire the stock market in of itself is not really sustainable. It's a big bubble. It's one big Ponzi scheme where companies are where most of the stock market is most companies in the stock market are just owned by other companies. Most of the like 80 to 90% of the stock market is literally just companies owning other companies, and then three companies, BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard, owning most of these companies and having all of the voting rights in these companies. It's one big bubble. It's one big bubble. All right. And it's unfortunate, but that's just how it's designed. And these companies basically own pretty much everything. They own every cereal. They own every television. They own everything. They own it all, and they still want more. Let's see here. Cosmic says we are going to be robosexuals. Laughing my ass off. He says, "Boy, you like clankers? Do you?" Futurama. Oh boy. Let's see. Let me see if there's. Yeah, guys. I think I gave you a great. We're also definitely going through stagflation right now too, which is a nightmare. Which is an absolute nightmare. Jay says Feds are going to print more money. They have actually started, so they don't use the term quantitative easing anymore, but they've already started printing more money. They've already started doing it. So because they're printing more money, that means that guess what? Next year you're going to witness it because it takes a little while for it to catch up. Everything is going to skyrocket in price again because the feds are printing more money again. Oh my gosh. Also, Japan is dumping U.S. debt. They are where the Japan was the largest holder. They have been the largest holder of U.S. debt, and they are selling off U.S. debt to improve their bonds. So by them selling off U.S. debt, it's very much a vote of no confidence, and it is ultimately going to lead to the United States having to hold more debt, and it's going to cost more for us to borrow money. We're already spending more money to pay our to pay the interest on our debt every year than we are for defense. It's like something like $1 trillion, like $1 trillion, like $1.3 trillion a year in just like interest. Like, what the living hell is this? Like, it's completely unsustainable because we're basically the interest is costing more money than we're actually taking in income. And this whole thing with Trump and his tariffs, it's basically just a layover. It's just trying to buy time, but it's not going to save us. No amount of tariffing is going to deal with this crisis. They're basically just trying to cover it up, but it's not going to work. Like, we've been on an unsustainable path for a long time, and right now the roosters are coming home to crow. Yeah, J Rex says it. They've been printing more money for decades. It's just they are going whole hog now. Yeah. Jay says that stagflation hit hard in the 70s. Everything is stagnating right now. Everything. And we can see it happening around us. We're in a massive hard I don't even know what to call this right now. We're this is not even a slowdown. We've been in maybe, I don't know, like a somewhat of a depression for a while, but we're going to be hit with a massive. The crisis is just going to be a nightmare. Mister says the EU threatened to do the same thing. It's like, okay, Japan and UK, defend yourself against China and Russia. Good luck with them. Oh, bro. Jay says this pre this pre, ah this predicament is decades in the making, and it's completely intentional. It's 100%, 100%. And while we talk about the elites, the baby boomers need to take a bow, because they are very much responsible for this. These people sold they stole our futures while we were still in diapers. I don't blame Gen Z for saying steal them back. You know, I've actually softened when it comes to some of the things with Gen Z. I'll realize, like, yeah, these kids, they basically realize things that we did not, because we were basically born into this matrix, and we swallowed, we were optimistic and believed all the bullshit when we shouldn't have. Jay says that 2020 started the decline, and tariffs brought in stage two. Yeah, it's a bad situation, man. It's all fucked. All fucked. But guys, what do you think? Men are giving up on society, and that's terrible for all of us. I think I gave you guys a great video. I think I stopped, and thank you guys for all of the donations. Thanks for being here this evening with me. I wanted to let you guys have some fun. I'm probably gonna grab something to eat in just a moment. A little hungry. Thinking about doing a 60,000 subscriber video, assuming that we make it. It's like, I'm not, it looks like we're gonna make it soon, but hopefully we make it before the end of the year, but I'm not gonna bet on anything. But I don't know. Like, I'm thinking about doing a 60,000 subscriber stream. I really do want to do it for you guys. So I got to figure out, like, what I did say I might sing a song for you, or there was some other stuff I said. I got to check the poll, like what was it that you guys want me to do. But yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think about all of this. Do you agree that we're kind of headed for a hellish, it's going to be a nightmare in 2026, and UBI is not going to save the world. Men giving up on society, it's not good for it's not good for us, because basically means that men are walking away. And if men are not there to hold society up, then society will crumble. But let me know what you guys think, and we'll talk about it in the comments. I'm so impressed that I'm able to continue doing this, especially since I was away from it for a while and haven't done this for a while. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA. Oh gosh, and just at the end where I'm trying to end it, and then Calvin jumps in with a super. Calvin just jumped in with a super, jumped in with a $5 super. Thank you so much, Cosmic Calvin. He says, you think Trump's approval to bring back small trucks and cars will help the economy? No, I don't. I think that we're screwed. I think that it's all just basically trying to buy time, you know, buy time and prop things up. But I think we're fucked one way or another. I don't think anything is going to save this sinking ship. I think that the only thing that can really happen here is that it can sink and then we can start over and then rebuild it from the ashes. But I don't think we're going to. I don't think we're coming out of this. I don't think we're coming out of this, bro. I think that is basically like an actual reset. And I think that's like the best case scenario, either an actual reset or we're going to be basically living under a police state minority report style and it's going to be hell on earth. More hell more than it is now. But let me know what you guys think. We'll talk about it in the comments. Again, thanks for that. Thanks for that Thanks for that, super. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA. And walking away. And cheers.
Nothing says you care like crypto. Nothing can compare. Nothing says you care like crypto. Oh, nothing can compare to crypto.